reason why God will not always save you from a situation immediately, because compassion needs to grow. The other day, just a couple of weeks ago, this was in Nigeria, a situation happened that opened the wound of rejection so badly. I'm like, God, I thought I was past this. It was so off guard, and I was weeping. And it wasn't necessarily a direct or rejection type of thing, but something happened that just took me to the place of all the childhood wounds unraveled again. And the Lord said, in order to be used by me and carry great grace, you must have a broken heart. I was asking him, Lord, why did you make me experience that? Whatever seemed like rejection. He said, I am behind it. Because if you want to be used by me, you want to carry a level of uncommon grace, your heart must break. A broken heart and a contrite spirit, the Lord is close to such. You know why? Because we have become a generation, when the Lord begins to operate certain levels of power through you, you will tend to operate in arrogance. When people stop for the one, their compassion becomes a magnet that draws them to the one. Even when you don't want to see people, you have no choice but to see people because of compassion. I'm going to share another testimony. This was like the day after that, and I was taking my flight back to the U.S. Sometimes we run away from heartbreak, but it's the blueprint for our call. Somebody needs what your heart has been broken with to bring remedy to their situation. So I was in the airport, and I was going to my connecting flight with my son. And as I was going, I had 40 minutes before the flight took off. So that means that I only had about 20 minutes before the boarding gate closed. So I'm walking now, and there was an elderly lady, maybe about 75 years old. And she was like dressed very humbly. She had a hair tie on, and I know I'm running late with my son because where we were in another building, and the building that has our flight was in a whole, we had to take the train there within the airport. So now I have the right to be like, I'm running late, I don't have to stop for the one. But God said, stop for this lady. So she said, my sister, please, I've missed my flight and I'm lost in this airport. Can you help me? I said, yes, I'll help you. She said she tried to text her daughter. Her daughter was not responding. She said, can I use your phone to call my daughter? I said, yes. The daughter picked up the phone, and the way the daughter spoke to her with such reverence, I'm like, this is not an ordinary lady. The Holy Spirit said, this is a praying mother. I don't even know who I stopped for. Now, the lady finished talking to her. By that time, it's about 8:55 a.m. Her flight is at 7 p.m. So she has to wait about 9 hours before she can catch her flight. She doesn't know how to navigate the airport at all. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be committed to this assignment. So I went to one of the clerk ladies and I said, you know, can you help her? She said, you got to come back by like 6 p.m. and I'll be able to direct you to the gate. So I looked around and I said, how would this lady just sit here? She began to direct it to another building, go downstairs like this. She was already getting confused. And God said, I made you stop for a reason. So I looked, I said, oh, I have lounge access. Then the Holy Spirit said, can I trust you with influence? Remember, I told you that your broken heart is what will yield you to be used by God. So I said, oh, say less. I took the lady by the hand. I said, let's go to the lounge. There was a British Airways lounge. I said, listen, I may not be able to stay in this lounge, but can I please use my spot for this lady here? It was a guy, and the lady said, you don't even have to worry about your spot. We'll take care of her because of you. So now the elderly lady did not have to worry about sitting on a hard bench for 9 hours. She had a place to sleep. She had food to eat. She had everything she needed. But now I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh God, my boarding gate has closed. He said, because you stopped for the one, I will open the gate for you. Compassion. Now I said, okay, when I was leaving, the lady, she said, she released a blessing over me that entered my heart. I felt something shift in the realms of the spirit. Listen, if the Lord don't break your heart a little bit, you will not know how to see hidden treasures in darkness. Now my gate is already closed. What I'm going to do? I carry my son. I said, son, let's go. We're going to make the flight whether we like it or not. Now it's already 9. By the time we get to our other side, gate C, it's already 9:10. The flight take off at 9:25. Nobody is at the boarding place. I get to the first lady that is at the clerk. I'm like, please, you know where this gate is? Because I couldn't see the gate nowhere in sight. She said, ma'am, your gate is all the way at the end. The doors have already closed. She said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to the colleague myself, and they'll open the gate for you. This lady began to run ahead of me, running like she was the one missing a flight. By the time she ran there, she said, listen, I have 2 more passengers that need to catch the flight. The flight cannot take off without these 2. So you know what happened? They opened the boarding of the gate, and then the flight attendant welcomed my son and I. I sat there and I said, my God, listen, if I did not stop for the one, the gate of the airline was not just what opened for me. You didn't catch that. God said, I will open the gate for you. The gate of the airline was just the minimum, but that transaction opened up another gate in the realms of the spirit. A gate of influence, a gate of the word, a gate of revelation, a gate of encounter, a gate of many seasons. The Lord is saying, will you allow your heart to break? Can you carry the compassion of a generation that will make you stop for people that nobody is stopping for? The reason why you were rejected is so you can see the rejected people. Can the Lord trust you with influence? I'm not talking about the influence that you gather with people that are famous or you go to places that are fancy. I'm talking about influence that because you carry the Spirit of God in you, you can open doors for people that nobody else can open. You can stand in the gap for a generation that nobody else is willing to stand in the gap for. You will be sent to people to pull them out of the mud that nobody wants to teach or nobody wants to touch them. Can the Lord trust you with uncommon grace?